Ryan, of course, is the guy who came up with a Medicare plan that turns it into a voucher system that basically ends guaranteed benefits in Medicare and makes you pay more than 2/3 of the bills in Medicare. It transfers the cost onto average Americans, okay? And that's what it does. So the Medicare program we have now just simply doesn't exist if Paul Ryan's plan is successful. Now, Democrats have been pointing that out, and Paul Ryan hates that. He's like, please shut up. Stop telling people what's actually in my plan. But what's great about this clip is not just him saying that, which he's said many times, but look at what he does halfway through a sentence. As he's accusing the Democrats of doing Medicare, look at what he does. Watch.
Points like that are being lost because millions of dollars of negative ads are being run to try and scare seniors and to try and confuse seniors. You know, the irony of this bill is with all this Medicare that the Democrats are running, it's Obamacare itself that ends Medicare as we know it. Obamacare takes $500 billion from Medicare, not to make it more solvent, but to spend on this other government program, Obamacare, and then it creates a new 15-panel board of unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats starting next year to price control and ration Medicare for current seniors.
That's awesome. So he says, they shouldn't scare people about my Medicare plan. I should scare people about their Medicare plan. So that isn't Medicare? He's like, oh, no, they would end Medicare as we know it. What a load of garbage. You know how hard I've been fighting to protect Medicare? What he's referring to, that $500 million they take out, it is absolute waste that goes to private corporations for exactly the same services that you get. All it is private corporations skimming $500 million of profit off the top and putting it in their pocket. I'm sorry, $500 billion, okay? And so is he in favor of that? Of course he is, because he wants the private corporations to make that money and give it back to him, okay, at least partly so. So, but there's an extra layer of irony here. You know that his own program does the same exact thing. No, you don't understand. It's not like, oh, kind of similar. Same exact thing. He ends Medicare Advantage in his program just like President Obama's plan. So do you see what I'm saying? These guys are not honest actors. They're not like going out there and being like, oh, golly gee willikers, this is really my ideology, and I think the private market would be better, and I really think it would help the American people. Oh, and I think my plan is better than, President Obama's plan is because of this. No, he knows he did the same exact thing, but he comes out on Fox News and lies right into the face of the American people and says, oh, they would end Medicare as we know it, with the same proposal he has. And then on top of that, of course, he has the proposal that actually ends Medicare as we know it by turning it into a voucher program. That's why when people say, oh, Paul Ryan is serious, Paul Ryan's a great guy, Paul Ryan's such a thinker, he's so bold. No, here's what Paul Ryan is. He's a liar. So he just came out and lied there about his own program and President Obama's program. And why does he do that? For the same exact reason Paul Ryan and his Republican friends do everything: to help the rich and the powerful that fund their campaigns. Paul Ryan doesn't get elected unless those guys give him money to go back into office. And so if it means you waste, $500 billion on a program that helps private insurance, sure, why not? If it means, hey, we cut the taxes on the richest people in America from 35 to 25 and we shift the cost on to people who need Medicare and the middle class, who cares? Yeah, let's do it, man. He doesn't give a damn about the American people. He doesn't think that program's any better. Are you kidding me? He thinks, hey, I got to get my bosses a little bit more money. And my bosses are the richest people in America. Paul Ryan is a liar.